Hello there. Hi everyone, this is Elizabeth and I'm going to talk to you today about Ling Gu and Da Bai, two great master tongue points that I use a lot in the clinic. They're located on the same metacarpal or along the same metacarpal bone as large intestine 4, which is midway between the ends of the metacarpal bone. So Ling Gu is down near the intersection of two tendons. It's right in the depression, so the tendons make like a V and it's in the depression here. And Da Bai is up near large intestine 3. So large intestine 3 is underneath the tendon here, and Da Bai is above the tendon but under the bone. Now what I was taught was that this metacarpal represents the spine, and Master Tongue often talks about treat bone for bone, treat tendon for tendon. So what you're doing with Ling Gu Da Bai is you're treating along the spine, so UB stuff. It's great for UB back pain. So when I have a patient that comes in with lower back pain, Ling Gu is one of my favorite points. Now they say that Ling Gu Da Bai are paired together. If I have a really sensitive patient, I will just do Ling Gu. I won't do Da Bai. But if my patient can handle it, I'll do both because it moves it along the channel. It's also excellent for sciatic pain, either UB sciatic pain, GB sciatic pain, and even stomach and spleen sciatic pain, which is when it wraps around. Another additional point that I like to add with Ling Gu Da Bai is right along the sanjiao. I go to the meaty part. You know, if they're having like GB30 pain, I want to go to something that's similar to glutes. And so this would represent the hip and this would represent the glute or the thigh. And I feel around for something tender, put a needle in, and then I do a cluster. I do a point on either side. This typically releases it. And then I believe it helps support Ling Gu Da Bai. So that's the location. The technique, well, I tend to be a pretty shallow needler. I found that you don't really need to go very deep. So I have a Wunsen. I think it's 40 gauge. And that's good enough for me. I'm a very sensitive patient. So I tend to attract sensitive patients. And I'm really very careful about making their treatment as comfortable as possible. And so one of the ways to do that is I've had practitioners move my hand, needle me, and then move my hand back. That is a little scary for needle phobic patients, such as myself. So I tend to get them in a position that they're comfortable. Sometimes this will even be just like, you know, across their belly or on their leg, and then I do the needling and then I let it stay where it is. So here's the needle demonstration. Getting my needle out of a pack. So I've never needled myself on video, so I hope I don't get too sensitive here. So I'm feeling for the depression. And I already feel the sensation. I'm going to go in a little bit. It typically goes in pretty smoothly because, again, you're in between tendons. And then the second needle for Da Bai, feeling around here. And there we go. When I'm entering in, I'm going just under the bone. So we're all set. Let's see if I can bring you a little closer so you can take a look. There are the needles. If my patient has mid-back pain, or pain paraspinal, like all along the spine, sometimes I'll do large intestine 4 there too to help move it along. It all depends on how acute the pain is and how able the patient is or comfortable the patient is with the needle. So I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to show you a few other tricks. And once my patient's here, I typically tell them, I'll touch their fingers and go, okay, these fingers you don't want to move too much. And then I'll needle the other hand with something a little less scary, like lung 7. And I'll say, okay, that's your hand that you can scratch with, or I call it your party hand. This is your party hand. You can use this hand to scratch, and then I'll go over to the Ling Gu Da Bai hand and go, okay, you don't want to move these fingers too much, but you can move this hand still if you need to. That just kind of helps them feel like they're not tied down or they have to stay completely still, and then they won't completely relax. If they feel like they can scratch their nose with one hand, they're usually comfortable. What else did I want to tell you? I think that's it. I'm really grateful that I got to share this with you, and as a reward for your watching, I'm going to show you my clinic assistant. Say hello, Booth. This is Booth. He comes to my clinic some days, and patients love him because, as you can see, he is totally mellow yellow. Bye, everyone.